For you back here in the Pacific Northwest, we have played 45 minutes inside of CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. And Brazil and Japan kicking off the 2017 Tournament of Nations. Scoreless so far through the opening 45 minutes. And we are set for the second half play. A couple of substitutions to tell you about. Marco Gandino back here with you in the Emerald City. Emily Lima will make 2 changes to get the second half going, with the 27-year-old Chu coming on. Another one of those Sao Jose club team players that played under Emily Lima over the last couple of years. And then the other substitution, Bruno Benitez. U.S. soccer fans will know that name. Cap number 51 for Benitez, the 31-year-old defender who plays for the Houston Dash in NWSL. And one change for Japan as well. Why wouldn't they? Emi Nakajima, the 26-year-old midfielder, is out after 45 minutes. And Yuka Momiki will step on here for the second 45 minutes. I would imagine a pretty much like-for-like substitution in the midfield. Momiki a little bit more in the attack, the 21-year-old. Again, another one of those players that plays for Belize in Japan domestically. Teams have switched ends. It's Japan and the all-dark kits. Oh, we thought going to be attacking from left to right across your screen. Yeah, they will for the rest of the 45, but an errant touch there immediately turns the ball back over for Brazil. And Brazil in those customary yellow tops with the blue shorts and white socks. They will defend the goal to my right. It was a positive opening 10 minutes or so for Japan in the first 45 minutes of play here in Seattle, but then they kind of lulled to sleep a little bit. Brazil took the first half by the scruff of the neck, only to see Japan have a couple of quality chances in the closing minutes of the first half, but neither team finding the back of the net. Quick opportunity right there as Chu tried to spin onto her right foot. By the way, if you're keeping track of substitutions at home in this competition, a little different than normal FIFA rules. 6 substitutions allowed per team during the match. Into the space. Yamashita out to the edge of her area to corral it. By the way, Chu coming in for Ludmila. So a couple of Sao Jose former strikers exchanging places at the halftime break. Monica trying to push that one away. Didn't get the cleanest of touches. Yokoyama pressuring on the ball. She's probably been the most dangerous player in the first half, I would say, for Japan. But although it's that player there, Mina Tanaka, that had the best clear-cut opportunity for Japan, really for either side in the first half, when she was in one-on-one all alone with Brazil's Barbara, but could not finish off that chance. So the free kick opportunity here for Japan. Call it right on about 35 yards out from the Brazil goal. No question is who's going to take it. Kumi Yokoyama stands over it. Going to have a direct effort. Barbara has to pair that one over the crossbar. And concedes Japan their first corner of the second half to go with the 2 they had in the first half. I was thinking a bit ambitious maybe to pull a direct effort from there, but I guess if you put it on frame and trying to just put it underneath the crossbar, you force Barbara in goal for Brazil to just parry it away and concede the corner. Here's the ensuing corner in onto the near post, looking for Tanaka. Back out top. Oh, Yokoyama missed it completely with the right foot. And Brazil trying to evacuate their own half. Manya couldn't quite turn the corner, but does earn the throw for Japan. Excellent turn there. Yokoyama trying to feed it in onto the back post. Scrambling to defend there was Brazil, and finally cleared away by Debinha. Again, another really positive start for Japan to begin the half. They did it in the first 45 minutes, and now they do it here to open up the second half. In the opening almost 4 minutes now. I should probably tell you, Barbara, the Brazilian keeper, was the first player out on the field taking some extra touches to get warm here for the second half. And she was actually doing most of it, most of the work, I should say, with her feet, working on receiving the ball back from her defenders and then playing it back into position when they can start the attack. The 29-year-old keeper from Recife, Brazil. Silver medalist back in 2008 Olympics. Here's Tanaka, knocking it down. And our first look there at Momiki. Not the best, as she couldn't keep the possession alive. Ramirez looking for the centering pass, but there was 3 dark jerseys there to surround Debinha. It looks like maybe with the couple of substitutions, Debinha, the North Carolina Courage player in NWSL for Brazil, is going to play a little higher up the field to begin this second half. Brazil try and get a few more numbers into the attack. So Emily Lima already making a couple of changes. Pressure from Marta. As she usually does, she ends up on the ball. Now trying to slip it through on a little seam there. Gabby Nunez couldn't find the first touch, though. It was right in stride on the left foot of the 20-year-old midfielder. Ball seemed to get caught up underneath her just a little bit. She was unable to get a shot off on goal. Fran under pressure. Japan picks up on the turnover. Just a little too long on the possession there. Back the other way. Chu dancing on the ball, fires it in. And again, no rebound to speak of as Yamashita eats it up just at the edge of the 6-yard box. Racine picking up the loose ball. Now Marta to keep it going out to the far side. Leticia, the outside back, joining in the attack. Gabby Nunez. Excellent defending there from Samashima. She's the veteran across the back four. She's been a part of Japan's back line for a number of years now. Well, we're done with this one here at CenturyLink. It's the U.S. women's national team taking on Australia. See if the U.S. can get this Tournament of Nations, which in essence, obviously, they are the hosts. Get it started off on the right foot. We'll have that one for you coming up 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock local time on ESPN. For what it's worth, actually, Australia, when you look at the rosters, probably has, I don't necessarily want to say veteran, but the most experienced in terms of numbers. Good surge forward here from Brazil. Debinha looking for the corner. Oh, and a big save there. The follow-up chance, and again pushed away. Not out of danger yet. Marta! Oh, it's just wide. Not one, not two, but 3 good looks for Brazil there. It all starts down this left side. Debinha, look at all the space out in front. Watch how she preps it there with her right foot, looking for the lower corner. Big save there from Yamashita. The follow-up wasn't the best, but good unselfish play to find Marta. And I tell you what, folks, she does not miss from right there with the ball on her left foot very often. And that shows you how close it actually was. Gabi Nunez, right choice to try and lay it off to the veteran Marta. See if that's a sign of things to come here for the Canariñas. Scoreless so far here through almost 54 minutes up here in Seattle. Sakaguchi under some pressure. Ichise plays across the back. Entire field, as you can see, now in the shade as the sun begins to set here on the West Coast. Benitez, a little bit of a heavy touch, but kept in by Leticia on that far side. Fran. And all the way back here for Barbara. Got it caught up underneath her feet, but recovers to send it wide for Bruna Benitez. This one shepherded out of play by Momiki. Quickly back in for Japan. Nakajima. Manya. Well-weighted ball into the feet of Yokoyama. Monica steps in to win it back for Brazil. And now Fran. Just out of the reach of Monica. Well, misplayed touches by Bruna Benitez so far here since coming on. Well-weighted ball, but the anticipation by Barbara quickly off her line to cut it out near the penalty spot. 11 minutes and change gone here in the second half. You're probably wondering, in an inaugural tournament like this, will there be a champion crown? Yes, there will be. Normal stuff in terms of 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. But of course, with only 4 teams in the tournament, it is possible that you end up level on points with another country when all is said and done come next Wednesday. So there's a whole tiebreaker format set up, with the first tiebreaker being goal differential between two countries that actually end up on the same amount of points. Good touches here for Japan, now up and over the top, trying to spring Yokoyama. Yeah, it's worth noting too, all games end in regulation, no PKs or extra time. But why would you need that, folks, if you're coming and you're seeing a double header, right? I think 3 hours of soccer is probably just good enough. Brazil with the throw here in the 58th minute. Which of these two countries is going to break through first? And remember, that'd be a little bit of history too in the making, scoring the first ever goal in the inaugural Tournament of Nations. Tanaka turns right into the pressure there from Bruna Benitez. It ends up back on the feet of Marta. She's going to go for it herself, long distance. And the footwork from Ayaka Yamashita able to get her back there. We've seen a couple of those here today where Brazil has forced a turnover a good 30, 40 yards out from the Japanese goal and quickly looking to just loft one over the top of Ayaka Yamashita, the Japanese keeper. The old rule of thumb for goalkeeping, and I'm not sure if it has changed over the years, is you're only supposed to play out as far off your line as you know you cannot be chipped. So far, Yamashita has been able to do that. I learned that one, by the way, from my longtime good pal, Dr. Joe Mack. Good ball in behind, but the offside flag does come up. Japan has done a really good job so far throughout the match in timing their runs. Although this one you can see clearly top of the screen, Brazil did well to hold their line. The best chances on the afternoon and now into the evening that have come for Japan have been when a ball has come through the midfield and then a well-timed run. Marta staying wide and onside. Japan scrambling to get back over the head of Yamashita and really over the head of just about everyone. Chu will run it down on the far side to keep it alive here for Brazil. Just does stay in play along that far sideline. Andresinia trying to shift gears and get to the corner. Out in front. Gabby Nunez laying it down, and the follow-up shot from the left back Tamirez will go up and over the crossbar. Turn our attention to between the benches. Miho Manya, the 20-year-old defender, is done for the afternoon. And Hikaru Kitagawa will come in here. Kitagawa, also 20 years of age, and one of a handful of players that play for Urawa Red Diamonds on this Japanese roster. First ball won there by Sakaguchi. And then Tanaka is tripped up to the tune of a free kick here for Japan. Momiki, good entry pass, looking for the far side, off the post, out in front, and Tanaka can't find the back of the net with her left foot. Another golden chance for Mina Tanaka as that ball pings off of the far post. Maybe just trying to be too precise. Watch her open the hip as it comes back out to try and put it up in the top corner. I think you just got to go with power right there. This will be your best look at it right here. When it comes off the post, and then you'll see leaning back and trying to pick out the top corner. It hasn't been a display in textbook defending from both Brazil and Japan through 63 minutes so far today. But it also hasn't been a clinic on finishing either. Good step in there from Bruna Benitez. Sakaguchi trying to pull the string as she sprays it out to the far side. Brazil sliding over to defend. Entry pass all the way onto the back post, and it's 1-0 Japan! How about that for the substitute, Momiki, in the 63rd to open the scoring. The ball goes all the way out wide, but no one marking on the back post. just as I had got done saying it hasn't been a clinic in finishing, that's a textbook passing drill, crossing drill, if you will. 3 attacking runs inside the area. The service comes from wide from Nakajima. And all Momiki has to do is head it back against the grain with Barbara shuffling back to her left. The most difficult thing for a goalkeeper to do is stop the momentum and then get back onto the other side. And by the way, Momiki did it with a little bit of pace there, putting it into the back of the net. So Japan strikes first. Substitution immediately following. Debinya done for the day. And Camila will come in. I would expect it to be Camila, Marta, and Chu trying to get most of the attacking done now here and look for an equalizer. A couple of Orlando Pride players in Marta and Camila playing there up top. Talk about a game of responses. How do Brazil now respond after going down a goal? Tripped up, and a free kick here for Brazil. We look to make another change.
Making their 4th change, Brazil substitution, leaving the game, number 15, Leticia.
Leticia will step off here in the 66th minute.
Replacement number 2, Marini.
31-year-old Maureen will come in. By the way, for Yuka Momiki, just her 2nd goal at the Japanese senior national team level. And what a strike it was. Just a powerful header on the back post to give Japan a 1-0 lead. Obviously, going down a goal, Emily Lima bringing on some reinforcements immediately. And she brings Maureen and Camila on. And it looks like immediately going to just 3 at the back now. Over the top here for Tanaka. Waiting for some reinforcements to arrive. There's the goal scorer. Momiki shifts it through. A chance to make it 2-0. And a big save from Barbara. Still alive as she tries to paw it away. And it's last touch by Japan. It'll go out for a goal kick for Brazil. Golden opportunity to try and double the lead. The clearance from the back, and it comes all the way over the top. And watch the patience here from Mina Tanaka. She's had a couple of great chances herself. Lets the run go right by, and then a beautiful run in on the back post. Unfortunately, though, for Nakajima, give Barbara credit right there, just sticking up that big left hand to try and somehow push it away, and she does, off the leg of Nakajima and out for a goal kick. Remember that moment, folks, right at the midway point of this 2nd half. Remember that moment. If indeed Brazil are able to mount some sort of comeback in terms of an equalizer and maybe even find a winner. Japan, for all intents and purposes, should probably be up 2-0. Here's Monica approaching the center stripe. Going to go the direct route over the top, trying to spring the left back, Tamirez. As you look down, you see the bottom of your screen. You just barely see it. Emily Lima preparing yet another substitution. As Bia Zanerato has stepped up to the technical area. Chu. I don't know about you at home, but I almost get the feeling that this could be one of those instances where if Brazil got 1, they might get 4. Gabi Nunez, probably not the spot to try that. Brazil would probably rather hold possession at this point to continue looking for the equalizer. Andresinia. Mishit on the pass. That one slips through. Flag stays down. Saving tackle there to push it away from Yokoyama. Still alive all the way across onto the back post. Nakajima missed a moment ago. Lofted in the direction of Tanaka. Knocked back down. Yokoyama just outside the penalty spot, and it's deflected on the way. And Japan will have their second corner of this second half, 4th on the match. Scrambling, defending for Brazil back there, as Kumi Yokoyama and Mina Tanaka causing fits for the Brazil back 4.
Making an effort to change Brazil's substitution. Number 18, Fran. Replaced by number 16.
Biazanarato, 23-year-old forward. The lone player on Brazil's roster that plays in Asia. She plays for the Hyundai Red Angels. Barbara pulling it out of the air over in the WK League in South Korea. Long clearance there from Yamashita. Little less than 20 minutes to go in regulation here in the second half. If you're just joining in, Yuka Momiki, a second half substitute for Asako Takakura, and Japan finding the back of the net about 8 minutes ago. Japan has done a really good job specifically here in the second half, bottling up Marta. There is Marta trying to win the ball, just able to push it away for a moment. Tamiris splitting a couple of defenders. Nunez, good turn. Marta lets it go with the left foot. Not sure if the layoff there from Gabi Nunez was intentional, but it worked out right into the spot for the 31-year-old Orlando Pride striker for Brazil. Marta loves it on that left foot. Love this though from Japan. They are not satisfied just being up 1-0. They continue to try and surge to double the lead. Cross coming in onto the back post, just over the head of the last defender, Sashishima. Still alive here for Brazil. Push back in over the head of Chu. Japan clear their lines, but only for the moment. Camila back out top. Fortunate there, and it's a missed touch there from Maureen. Almost got away to give Japan a throw, but she was able to recover. Oh, what a day for Mina Tanaka. I'm sure she will walk off feeling like she should have found the back of the net. She had 2 golden opportunities. One on a one-on-one situation with Barbara in the first half, and a second one here in the second half, where the ball came off the post, and all she really had to do was redirect it into the back of a, for the most part, open net. So the 23-year-old Japanese forward will step off, as will her strike partner in Kumi Yokohama. For me, Yokohama has been the most dangerous player on the field today for Japan. Not necessarily in terms of her chances around the net, but every time the ball has gone into her, Japan has kept the possession alive. And she almost, along with the central midfielder, Mizuho Sakaguchi, seemed to be the two players that really were pulling the strings for most of the match so far today for Japan. Still plenty of time, though, here in the second half as we approach the final quarter of an hour here in Seattle. Flag comes up. What an entrance that would have been for Shiho Tamari.
Making their final change.
And the final change now here for Brazil.
Number 6.
As Samaras, the left back, will step off.
Placed by number 22, Jusinara.
Jusinara will step on. '23-year-old defender picking up her 4th cap. That was a well-timed run this time by Tamari. Just inside the edge of the 18. Back out in front. Momiko, does she have another one in the cards? Oh, that one goes just wide. Near precision on the left foot from the Japanese goal scorer. Dangerous to send it all the way back. Jusinara had just stepped on. Out in front, and the hit, but right at Barbara. The defending from Brazil, atrocious at times. And I should add that members of the coaching staff for both Australia and the U.S. women's national team, which, remember, those two teams are going to play in the nightcap here at CenturyLink Field. I've seen them up here in the press level, and they have to be taking diligent notes to think, when we get our opportunity to meet up with Brazil later on here in the Tournament of Nations, have to be salivating at some of the chances to attack their back four. Even though there's been changes along the back four for Emily Lima, I would just say across the board it's looked at times really unorganized. They seem to lock it up in the middle part of the opening half of play after a rocky start. But this is very reminiscent of what we saw in the opening few minutes and the final few minutes of the first half. By the way, Karen Apt has not even, our referee has not handed out any bookings here this afternoon as well. Her and her crew have been solid. Can Brazil find the magic, the surge? Andressinha tries to slip it through here. Zanerato, the intended target, and in the end it's just a throw for Brazil. Nice little slip through, trying to pick out Gabby Nunez on the attacking run. Japan quickly get numbers around the ball and clear it back out towards midfield. Camila to settle it right in front of the Brazil bench. Here's Gabby Nunez again, cutting away from pressure. Into the space for Marta. Well, it'll take you about 15 minutes ago, the lone strike of the afternoon. Good build up here from Japan. And look at the numbers inside the area. Everyone on their intended run. Only 2 defenders for Brazil to the 3 attacking runs. And that leaves Yuka Momiki wide open on the back post. And a powerful header against the grain to put it back and into the side netting for the lone score of the afternoon. Brazil still searching for their response, as that one comes back into the feet and now the hands of Ayaka Yamashita. Brazil had their chances, in particular in the first half. They haven't seen as many quality opportunities, certainly here in the second half of play. But still more than 10 minutes to go in regulation here in the second 45. Nakajima. Bruno Benitez steps in and wins it back here for Brazil. Canarinhas. Brazil have used all of their allotted 6 substitutions. So it's the players out there now that will have to figure it out for Emily Lima and see if Brazil can maybe even earn a point out of this one before they turn their attention to San Diego and the U.S. women's national team on Sunday. Here's Monica. Gabi Nunez spins away from the first challenge and then dispossessed, but a whistle will come in and bail out Brazil. Quickly to put it back in play into the center circle, it's Camila. Spraying it out up and over to this near sideline. Jusinara. Camila steps away from the first one, looking like she wants to line it up with her right foot, somehow able to tackle and keep it in possession. Clumsy clearance from Japan. Chu. Look how narrow it is in the formation here for Brazil. Not a lot of width. Inside and pushed away. Bit of a hopeful ball, trying to spring Marta in behind the back 4 and out for a Japanese goal kick. Tournament of Nations coverage continues on ESPN later tonight from here inside of CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington, as the U.S. women's national team and Australia get their tournament underway. Ian Dark, Julie Foudy on the call for that one. A heavy stream of fans, and I can tell you on my way into the stadium today, a ton of U.S. women's national team jerseys out about town, out on the ensuing restaurants and bars outside of CenturyLink Field. So it should be a great crowd nonetheless, but also a very pro-U.S. women's national team crowd. Is this the chance here for Brazil? It gets away from Marta, an injured player down in Gabi Nunez for Brazil, and consequently the ball touched out of play. After realizing that Nunez had gone down, Japan touched it all the way back for Barbara. This is better in terms of width here for Brazil. Sinata couldn't keep the possession. And we are going to have our first booking here today. I believe it's actually going to go to Camila. And it will. Little tangle up right here on the sideline against the goal scorer, Momiki. No, that's not a yellow card. Well, it is a yellow card, but you get my gist. I guess more importantly, that card becomes part of the yellow card accumulation process. So if Camila indeed plays and gets a yellow card in game 2 against the U.S. women's national team, then she would have to sit against Australia at the StubHub Center in Carson, California come Wednesday. Good skill there from Zanerato as she springs it through here. Gabi Nunez gets around the first defender. And then clumsy with her challenge. And should have been a throw for Brazil after Japan cleared it out. But Nunez continued her run in toward the edge of the 6-yard box and collided there with one of the Japanese defenders. Watch right here as she left her feet and collides there with Nane Ichise. Hikari Tagaki is going to come in here to replace Oyumi Oya. Maureen brings it down. Initial step in there was a good one. And now here's Camila. Driving it into the feet of Gabi Nunez. Tough ball really for the 20-year-old to handle, did her best. But consequently, Japan steps back on in possession. A lot more high pressure now, as you would expect, trailing by a goal from Brazil. Maureen wins the first ball, and she'll nod it out at midfield on the far side for a throw for Japan. And now another change coming here for Japan. Emi Nakajima will step off. Hikaru Naomoto comes on. 23-year-old midfielder yet to score for the Japan national team. And she'll pick up cap number 12 here today. It was a second-half substitute for Japan. About 18 minutes into the second half that scored the lone strike. And maybe Brazil, with all of their 6 substitutions used, find a spark from one of those fresh set of legs and find an equalizer here. Jushinara back in for Monica. Now Bruno Benitez. Maureen under pressure. She earned the throw for Brazil. She did. And now the clock beginning to become an ally of Japan. Andressinha picks up the loose ball, plays into space now for Marta. She certainly is the player you want on the ball in these types of situations. Overlapping run here. Drifting in on the front post. Loose ball inside the area. One of the rare times Yamashita spills it. Now Camila from long distance. Oh my, yes! Japan having a little bit of trouble to clear their lines at the back. It was great build-up, but this clearance right here comes right to Camila. First touch to prep it, second touch to lay it out for her right foot, and again, that swerving ball heading toward the corner, giving Yamashita fits. She got a hand to it, but not enough to parry it away. And Camila finds the back of the net, her first ever goal with the Brazilian national team. So when you thought Orlando Pride would be representing here today, you probably thought it was going to be Marta, who's got 8 goals, by the way, in NWSL play. That's 3rd best in the league. But instead, it's Camila from distance to find the back of the net. Is there a game winner in the cards now for Brazil? They've got a full head of steam. That's out of the reach of Gabi Nunez. And as we're into the 89th minute here inside of CenturyLink Field, we're receiving word. We'll receive the official indication in a moment, but could be a minimum of 4 minutes of added time to close out this second half. We'll wait for Katja Koroleva to step up in between the benches with the electronic board to confirm that. Like I said, if Brazil gets one, you just get the sense that they're going to be buzzing, looking for another. They got the first one in terms of an equalizer from Camila moments ago. Now what can they find? Marta, a rare giveaway. And it's Momiki, the Japanese goal scorer, who picks up the possession. If you're Japan, do you continue to surge forward to look for the winner? Or are you content just coming away with a 1-1 result? Marta once again into space here for Gabi Nunez. She started the game, has to be feeling some fatigue at this point. Inside into the feet of Zanerato. Uses her strength to get away from the first challenge. Still running on the ball. Has some help inside the area. Trying to touch it back in. How about back out top here for Gabi Nunez? Looking to line up the right foot. You could see the idea and the intent, but never quite the execution. Last few seconds of regulation here inside of CenturyLink Field in the opening match of the 2017 Tournament of Nations. And the board is up in between the benches. It will be 4 minutes minimum of stoppage time. Momiki. Boy, wouldn't that have been some heroics? Marta trying to bend one forward into the space. Gabi Nunez giving chase, but it'll roll back to the gloves of Ayaka Yamashita. A little bit of a shirt tug there from Zanerato. No question for both sides, the substitutes have infused some life into the attack in particular. You could maybe argue a little discombobulated defensively at times here in this second half with some of the changes. But I think attacking-wise, you've seen some better surges from both Brazil and Japan. Is there one final surge from one of these countries to find a winner? Here's Momiki. Crosses it in, Bruno Benitez to head it away. Knocked down here for Marta. Brazil don't have the numbers, but you also have Marta on the ball. Chu making the diagonal run. Marta with a little step over and just a little too heavy on that final touch. Consequently, she runs right into the chest of Tagaki. Japan now back the other way. Monica got a touch to it. Now pushed away. Sakaguchi. Out wide. Maureen standing up to defend there. In for Barbara. She comes to punch. Got a good touch to push it away. Zanerato. She's shown an ability to run at defenders so far here since coming on as a second half substitute. Fortunate bounce here as it falls to Camila. Gabi Nunez making the diagonal run, busting it to try and get into space, but there's the teenager, Nane Echise, to defend for Japan. Not out of danger yet. And we're gonna have a late card coming back the other way, and it's gonna go to Yuka Momiki. So both of the goal scorers in the book of Karen Apt twice today. Each getting a booking here in the second half, but also putting their name on the scoring summary. Into what should be the final minute of this opening match in the inaugural Tournament of Nations. Bruno Benitez steps away from pressure. Tries to fire it direct over the top, but a high offside line from Japan. It really means that nobody from Brazil could get in behind the Japanese back four. Yamashita lofting it forward. Benitez wins the first ball. Time for one final push maybe here for Brazil. Nunez surrounded by 3 dark jerseys, and a throw for Japan in the end. Karen Apps, a look at the watch. Takaguchi trying to put a touch to it, but the final whistle comes in. And after a scoreless opening 45 minutes, it's the second half substitutes that provide all the goal scoring in the second half. Barbara beaten by Yuka Momiki in the 63rd minute for her second ever goal in a Japanese jersey to make it 1-0. And then some late heroics from Camila, the Orlando Pride player, coming on and scoring in the 87th minute to find the equalizer. So Marta and Brazil pulling out a point in the opening match of the Tournament of Nations. Japan will take their point, and now both teams will get ready to head to Southern California when they will take to the Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego for their next games on Sunday. For Japan, it's a matchup with Australia, who get set to take on the U.S. women's national team right here in Seattle later tonight. And for Brazil, it's a date with the U.S. women's national team. Could provide some fireworks, as we've seen from those teams and those two countries so many times in the past. Don't forget, coming up in the nightcap, it's Australia and the U.S. women's national team over on ESPN. Ian Joy and Julie Foudy on the call. You won't want to miss it from here at CenturyLink Field. Our opening match, a 1-1 affair between Brazil and Japan. For our entire crew, I'm Mark Rogandino. Glad to have you along for this one in the opening game of the Tournament of Nations.